Hello everybody and welcome to Women of the NHS Podcast with me, your host, Kate Kelly. This podcast is about celebrating and collaborating with women of the NHS from a variety of backgrounds and roles within the NHS. Within the podcast, we will be informally chatting about their experiences and stories, exploring these women's opinions on medical school, female representation, hopes for the future of a more inclusive NHS, medical conditions that disproportionately affect women, and the nitty-gritty in between. I am excited to be interviewing and working with women in different stages of their career and across different sectors of the NHS. I want this podcast to celebrate women of the NHS and shine a light on the female experience from different perspectives. Today, I am so excited to introduce Dr Mojisola. She is an Associate Specialist Forensic Clinician. Please welcome. Mojisola, please can you tell us more about your specialism and why you chose it?
At East Midlands Children and Young Persons Sexual Assault Services at Nottingham, that's Queen's Medical Centre Hospital. And this is actually not my main profession. I actually trained as an obstetrician and gynecologist, which I practiced for over 20 years. And then in 2016, I decided to go into forensics, kind of specializing in forensic gynecology. And so that's what I've done in the last, I think, 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is seriously cool. Forensic gynecology.
Yeah. So it's another name for sexual offense medicine.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's what I do. And at the moment, I specialize in the pediatric section of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That must be quite. I imagine you take a lot of burden home for the, I don't know, maybe some of the...
In a way, yes, you're right. But you have to have a mechanism to deal with the emotional side of the job, because it can't be quite difficult to mentally, the kind of cases that we see.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is that it can be rewarding when you see what the positive impact that the service is making in the lives of these traumatized children. So I try to keep that in the forefront and focus on that rather than on the negative side of the job.
Yeah. How is your work-life balance?
It is challenging. Work-life balance is challenging. After medical school, I went back for my postgraduate training, what we call the residency training, which took about 8 years to become a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, which I did in Nigeria at Lagos University Teaching Hospital. We call it Luth in Lagos. So that was about 8 years. And I was married at that time also, and I had 2 of my kids during that period. So it was a difficult balance, extremely difficult balance, but I had quite a lot of support back at home, because we tend to live in larger families back at home. So you've got lots of aunties, lots of nieces, uncles and cousins to help out with the kids when you're on shift and stuff like that. So in Nigeria, work balance was easy to achieve because of the cultural setting there. When I moved to the UK, it was very difficult because you're alone and you're everything in one. You're a mother, you're a cleaner, you're a driver, you're everything. So it was very hard. And then when I lost my husband, he died quite suddenly. It was even harder and all of that. But what I did was to switch career from obs and gynae to forensic medicine because then I could control my hours of work.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a driving force for this. One of the driving forces for my change in career, so that I could have more time with the family. So now I work 8.75 PA per week, and that gives me some freedom to be able to, handle the children and all that, the family life and all of that. So in the last 4 years, I would say I've been able to achieve a good work-life balance.
Yeah.
But that only came at the cost of switching career.
Yeah. Because I guess obs and gynae is very chaotic, and are you on call a lot?
Yeah, it's quite intense.
Yeah.
It's not an environment that if you're not mentally together, you can cope with because of the high pressure of labor ward and all of that.
Yeah.
So it was imperative that I switch to be able to give my best to the patient as well as have quality time with my children. So I had to find an alternative that would also be as satisfying as obs and gynae, and I think I've been able to do that by switching to forensic medicine.
Wow. How has the NHS changed since your time within it?
Joined the NHS when I arrived into the country in the year 2008. And I think I joined the NHS in December of 2008. Now, I would say that I started in the NHS in Wales. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, where I spent 2 years in Wales.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely fantastic there.
Yeah.
The people are wonderful, the system is friendly, and you're able to, your skills that you brought in from another country was highly valued there. People recognize the skills that you have, and they respect the skills that you have, and we're more willing and more patient to teach you how this UK system worked, as a migrant doctor. So when I moved, after 2 years, I decided to seek more opportunities, so I moved down to England, and the difference was clear.
Really?
Yes, the atmosphere was not as friendly as it was in Wales. People are a lot impatient, people aren't very respectful of your skills in England. So it was difficult when I moved because it was such a switch from a friendly, lovely environment into a relatively, and I used the word carefully, what I would say was a hostile environment. But you have to navigate the system, and so you just have to find a way to navigate the system. It is a very, very restrictive system for a lot of people from migrant community, but you have to be resilient to achieve what is achievable for people of your color. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, adjusting to the system. But you can adjust, and you can't have a fulfilling career within the NHS in spite of the obvious limitations that are there. And let's not kid ourselves, there are limitations there. But I would give it to them. In the last couple of years, there's a lot of awareness.
Right, in England.
In England, about the struggles of the BAME community within the NHS. And they are doing a lot to make people aware of things like conscious and unconscious bias, things like racism, homophobia, and they are trying to make more people aware, and they are putting systems in place to not only to teach people, but also for people to be able to speak up when they're experiencing such. In 10 years ago, that wasn't the case, but now I can definitely say that it's getting better. There's still a long way to go, but they are making the effort. But you must recognize that there are some things that are never going to change. And as an individual, you need to know what you can change. You need to recognize what you cannot change, because you can't change everybody. And then you need to find a mechanism that works for yourself within what can change and what cannot change. Otherwise, the whole thing will suck life out of you. So it's about, like I teach my kids all the time, it's about recognizing what you can change and what you cannot change. Don't pursue what you cannot change. Find a mechanism to deal with it and move on.
It's interesting because I knew that there was almost like different fractions of NHS, so like Wales and Scotland and England, and they all had slightly different policies and governed differently. But it surprised me what you're saying about because I'd only heard about it in terms of like almost the governing was different, but it's shocking to hear that the actual tone of people was
but people, don't forget that government is not an isolation. Government is made up of people like you and I. So, and in a work environment, it's not so much about the government. It's about the people that you're in contact with on a daily basis. I don't know anybody in the parliament, but the people I work with are the people that I see every day. So they, for me, are a reflection of the society, rather than what the Prime Minister says on TV. So this is my own lived-in experience of the NHS. I had wonderful time with the people of Wales. The patients are respectful. They are kind. They are appreciative of whatever little you do. When you come to England, patients talk down to you. Some of them pretend they can't hear you when they can hear you perfectly well.
Right.
You know, some of them are rude.
Yeah.
You know, some of them are condescending. A lot of the staff sometimes, let me not use the word a lot. Some staff are condescending.
Yeah.
You know, so these are all the things that you have to grapple with. Then you have the institution itself with subtle laws that you know that there are roadblocks for a set of people. I'm sure you're not unaware of the GMC scandal, especially with the one with the black female doctor that, you know, that happened in Leicester Royal Hospital. These are the kinds of things that make you say one rule for some people, one rule for a set of others, because it was clear that if that doctor had been a white female, that treatment would not have been meted out to her. She would have been given opportunities to learn from the mistake. They certainly wouldn't have struck her off. So it took a lot of galvanization of the other doctors to say, actually, no, you can't strike her off because of this. And thankfully, she got reinstated. But if a GoFundMe hadn't been done and money raised for her to be able to afford the lawyers that could fight for her, her life was going to be ruined. You know, so these are the kinds of things that we struggle with. But in spite of it, we have to push on. You know, I, for one, as an individual, I keep my eye on why I came to the United Kingdom. what were my goals when I left my country? Because I left my country at the height of my career. So what were my goals when I came here? Am I achieving my goals?
Yeah.
As long as I'm taking steps every day and actualizing my goals, I kind of box the negatives into one corner. They're there.
Yeah.
I deal with it as much as I can, but I let my focus be on why I came.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, you're going to allow all of this negative to crowd into, and you lose focus.
Yeah.
So I say to my BAME colleagues, keep your eye on the goal. Why did you come?
Yeah.
And take steps every day to get there. Forget the noise.
Yeah.
It was there before you came. It will be there when you leave. That's the way I am able to manage it. Somebody else may look at it and say, some people have to fight for change. I recognize that. I get that. The question is, at the expense of what?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're fighting change and the joy is being sucked out of your life, the peace is disappearing, then you should take a step back and ask yourself, is this the way I want to go? Because at the end of the day, you have only one life to live. There aren't second chances.
Yeah.
So you've got to make the best of it, and you've got to be happy in it. I'm going to borrow from Meghan Markle. You just don't live. You have to thrive.
Yeah.
Excuse me. If you're not thriving, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
There's no purpose if you're not thriving.
Yeah.
You've got to thrive because there's no second chance.
Have you or your colleagues been affected by the strike action, and what are your thoughts on it?
Now, in terms of the first part of the question, have I been affected by it? I haven't gone on strike, but I do support the strike, absolutely 100%. The reason why I haven't gone on strike is because my unit is a very small, select unit. We have just about, I think, 8 doctors and 2 specialist nurses that run the entire unit. And basically, we can't afford to go on strike.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've walked through the strike. However, I support the reason why the strike is going on. Because, look, unless doctors are, the working environment is such that they're happy, they can balance the immense pressure of the job with the daily living, with what we call life.
Yeah.
They're gonna go.
Yeah. And we're seeing doctors leaving.
Yeah. As long as there's a country out there that can offer them a better work-life balance, people are going to go.
Yeah.
So if you think of it this way, why do migrants leave their nations and go somewhere else? They're going somewhere else to get a better work-life balance.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So the minute that UK ceases to offer that, people are going to go. Now, we have gotten to a point in this society where every problem is blamed on migrants.
Yeah.
But we are not also being told that the economy can actually function without these migrants that we seem to hate so much.
Yeah.
So I think it's about government being truthful to us. If the migrants exit the NHS is going to be on its knees. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So that's why I support the strike. They have to come up with ways to retain the staff.
Yeah.
They have to. And it looks like the only way they recognize that people are in distress is when people go on strike.
Yeah.
If you don't go on strike, as far as government is concerned, everything is fine and you're coping.
Yeah.
So I know that I recognize that it's a lot of inconvenience for patients, especially if your surgery has been cancelled and all of that and all of that and all of that. But in the long run, if we don't fight now, we're just going to live to fight another day.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
we might as well just sort it out once and for all.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are going to get 35% increase.
Yeah.
But everything is negotiable. Even when people say they want 50%, it's about negotiation.
Yeah.
I'm sure the doctors know they're not going to get 35%.
Yeah.
It's but you have to come to the table and and apart from the strike, apart from the financial end of the strike, the truth of the matter is that they need to train more people.
Yeah.
You can't have a need. If you have a need, the long-term solution is to have more doctors, more nurses, more parastatals, more paramedics, more everything trained that are British.
Yeah.
So all the bottlenecks to admissions, I don't understand why the bottlenecks are there if you need the people. You don't need a rocket. You don't need to be a genius to be a doctor. So from where I am sitting, if all the migrant doctors, if the NHS is comfortable, happy to employ doctors from around the world, including the so-called developing countries, why must you make the admission process almost impossible to surmount?
Yeah.
The doctors that are coming from all these other nations and are doing beautiful stuff on the NHS.
Yeah.
The admission process into the medical schools in those countries are not this ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you feel then that in England it's very restrictive in terms of?
I think it's designed for the rich and the elite.
Yeah.
That's my personal belief.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's designed for the elite people only.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't understand why somebody needs to get 3 A stars at A level, knowing fully well that only those generally who attend private schools, have private tutoring, can get that A stars.
Yeah.
The public schools, you probably have like the top 1% who can manage to get 1 A stars and A or B and stuff. So if the entry point is 3 A stars, what are you saying? Only those who go to the £40,000 schools are going to be able to get in. Then you have to do volunteering. Then you have to do UCAT. Then you have to do BMA. Then you have to go for the interview. Then you have to show that you can play violin. You can play guitar. You can play this. You can play that. Then you have to show that you have other things in your life, like play football, play rugby, go for Duke of Edinburgh, go for 1,000,001 things. And you're asking yourself, in the first place, to go for Duke of Edinburgh costs money. To be able to show all of this extracurricular stuff they want cost money. Yeah. So who's going to get in? Except who's going to fill the medical school but the children of the rich?
Yeah.
And then they have 1 or 2 concessions for the poor masses. So all of this bottlenecks. Yeah. You don't need a rocket. You don't need to be a genius to be a doctor. You just need to be somebody who can study, who can focus, who can think outside of the box. But you certainly don't need all of these bottlenecks to be able to. If you employ people from other nations and they are working in the NHS and doing fantastic stuff in the NHS, the entry criteria for their medicine in those countries, I mean, it's still the top end, but it's not this. This bottleneck isn't there. There's a level playing field.
Right. Yeah.
That's my perception, but I may be wrong.
No. have you or a colleague ever experienced sexism, homophobia or racism within the workplace?
The answer to that, when you say colleague, will be yes. Okay. And everyone's experience is different. I mean, if you ask maybe gay doctors or gay nurses or gay healthcare workers, they probably tell you that they have experienced some degree of homophobia and all of that. In terms of sexism, yeah, it is there, because sometimes people see you, and the first thing they assume is that you're a healthcare support worker, and then you have to tell them, actually, I'm not. I'm the doctor on call. Because they just don't see you and see doctor, and then so you get those kinds of situations once in a while. You just deal with it. That's what else. I'm not in the business of changing anybody's mind. I'm just living my own life.
Yeah.
That's because it's not my job to change anybody, but you can't, at the same time, I'm not anyone's dumping ground for whatever views they have.
Yeah.
That's your problem. You deal with it. In terms of racism, yes, there is racism. And racism is, we use the word generally, but there are different segments to racism. Okay? There is the overt racism.
Yeah.
That's not what goes on a lot.
No.
It's the covert ones.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that do the most damage.
Yeah.
Okay? Racism when microaggressions.
Yeah.
People asking questions or speaking in a manner that that they would never do that to somebody of color. I mean, that is reserved for people of color.
Yeah.
You get that all the time. But like I say, you can't keep fighting this. You have to have a personal way to deal with it. Sometimes you have to say right to the person on the spot and cut them short and say, no, I'm not going to take that. Okay? Sometimes you have to just walk away.
Yeah.
Okay? Sometimes you have to pity some people, because some people believe that ability to speak English language is a great thing. No, it's just a language.
Yeah.
Some people believe that someone who cannot speak any other language but English thinks they're better than you that can speak like 3. And I say speaking English does not confer any special thing to you.
Yeah.
It's just a language.
Yeah.
I speak my language and I speak English. I'm better off than you who speak only English.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for people to grab that.
Yeah.
You have people that have never been anywhere but England.
Yeah.
And they somehow think they're better than you that's had the opportunity to live in various parts of Africa.
Yeah.
You've been to other continents.
Yeah.
Including here. Those kind of people, you pity them because they're so myopic. It's difficult to engage with such people. Why waste your energy? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah.
You're in a world of your own. That's fine.
Yeah, they're living in a vacuum.
You're living in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't blame people when the news media, all they ever show about Africa are the slums. Like there are no slums here, or there are no slums in the so-called developed world.
Yeah.
So when they show Africa, they show the slums.
Yeah.
They don't show the cities.
Right.
With all the high rises and all the good roads and all so it's always the negative.
Yeah, we're drip fed a very
And a lot of people, that's the only information they have access to.
Yeah.
And so when you see people react to you in certain ways, you have to have empathy for them. Because that's all they know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not their fault. Well, they could develop themselves. They could check.
Yeah.
There's so much information out there to better understand the continent of Africa and Asia and stuff like that. But, so sometimes your response to racism can be pity and empathy, and not just fighting.
Yeah.
Because people are products of what they are fed.
Yeah.
So that's my approach. If you bring racism to me, I will stop you and put you in your place.
Yeah.
But that is when it comes to me personally.
Yeah.
I don't spend my waking moment worrying about racism or homophobia or sexism. I don't. Because that's a sorry way to live life.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm raising 4 daughters, and I'm telling them every day, you're the architect of your life.
Yeah.
You decide where you're going, how fast you're going, and when you have reached where you're going, you decide that also.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be obstacles in terms of human beings, in terms of institutions, in terms of government and all of that. But you have to be resilient to push through those obstacles. But it's about you as an individual defining for yourself what your life should look like.
Yeah.
It's not for somebody else to define for me
Yeah.
what my life should look like. And for me, I'm pursuing my goals and I'm enjoying myself in spite of all that is going on.
Yeah.
So,
It's a good way to live.
yeah. So that's it. But I must say, I am grateful for the United Kingdom because it has given me what my birth country didn't give me. So it's a balance for me.
Yeah.
I am grateful for the opportunity to be here. And you remember I said that medical school was an escape for me from a difficult home life.
Yeah.
When I say difficult home life, it has nothing to do with poverty or anything because I actually come from a well-to-do home.
Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't have a great relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
He was quite controlling, So looking back, I'm actually grateful to him for the education that I had.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have that education, I would not have had the opportunity to come here.
Yeah.
So you see that out of every bad, you just have to look for the good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you just have to look for the good. So even in spite of how difficult my childhood was, it was a privileged childhood.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to grapple with some more difficult stuff that people back at home at the time I was growing up was dealing with.
Yeah.
I didn't have to deal with poverty. I was driven to school. I was chauffeured around.
Yeah.
I had everything every comfort that you could want.
Yeah.
It just was a difficult environment in terms of control. Okay? But in spite of it, it was the foundation for my life.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a medical degree, I would not have gotten the visa I got to come here because at that time there was something called the highly skilled migrant visa.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I would not have been eligible for it without my medical degree.
Yeah.
So you see, in every bad in court situation, there is always something good that we can focus on. Yeah, so in spite of all the negative, that, is in the NHS or is in the UK society, I am grateful for the good, that has changed my life, changed the life of my children. So for me, my cup is always half full, never half empty.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe that that's a way to live life. Just focus on the good.
Yeah.
There's always going to be bad. From time immemorial, there's always been bad.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen that you didn't plan for.
Yeah.
My husband died suddenly. He was only 51, and I was left with 4 children. I am left with 4 children. But in spite of that, life has been good to me. But somebody else may say, oh, why would you say life has been good to you? Yeah, but I have my life. I have good health. I've got 4 beautiful daughters. I've got a good job. I have my faith in God. What else can I ask for? There are millions of people with worse. And in spite of their even worse situation, they're still grateful.
Yeah.
Even in that situation.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I find challenging in this environment. People aren't appreciative of the good.
Yeah.
It's all about moaning and groaning and complaining, you know. But I guess when you're in an environment where seemingly everything works, you don't get to have an understanding of it's not this good for everybody. So be grateful.
Yeah.
You know? But that's life.
Well, the English do love to complain.
Yeah. They just moan and moan and moan. I'm like, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Be grateful.
Yeah.
It's never enough.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the life that UK has afforded me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am grateful for it.
Yeah.
Because not only has it been beneficial to me as a person, it's been beneficial to my family as a whole. So I am grateful for that. You know, there are challenges, but I recognize that there are challenges back at home also.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm sure, like you're saying, there will be challenges.
Everywhere you go, there are going to be challenges. Different challenges, yeah. So it's about you as an individual being resilient to deal with those particular challenges in each environment. Yeah.
What would you do if you had the power to change something about the NHS?
What would I do?
Yeah.
The main thing that I think is an obstacle for NHS progress is the I wouldn't say lack, I would say reduced opportunity for career progression for people from the the BAME community. So if I had the power, I would look into making it a level playing field.
Yeah.
In terms of career progression for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, how that is achievable. The admission process into the training post needs to be more transparent and fairer. You know, so that everyone knows, you know, so you can have laws, but as long as it is human beings that are still in control, there's going to be subjectivity. Yeah. Okay, so it's about making the admissions process fairer, and people from the minority community, you know, feeling that they have equal chance, equal opportunity to climb the ladder. You know, so that I think would go a long way. Because you see, when people feel that there is no hope, they don't give their best. Yeah. Because if you feel that this is not going to be available for me, I'm just why stretch myself? Yeah. There are parts of the healthcare system that is so exclusively white. Yeah. That it's almost a struggle.
Like specific specialisms almost.
Yeah, specific
Really?
specialties are almost exclusively white. You know, so it's not for lack of the other people trying to get into it, but there just seem to be imaginary barriers. I mean, you never know, you just don't quite know why you can't get in.
Yeah.
Is it your name? Sometimes your name is a barrier.
Yeah.
And people have actually switched names to English sounding names, and they're managing to get in after years of trying in non-British sounding names.
Yeah. Do you know which specialisms do you know specifically? I'm curious.
Now,
Can you think of any?
if you look at the specialty of clinical psychology, it's almost an exclusive domain of white, female, British.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's almost an exclusive domain for the white, female, British population. Yeah. So I think it's only in the last couple of years that they are trying. Look, the environment is so diverse.
Yeah.
You've got to bring people from other backgrounds that have a lived experience of these people's culture, the things that matter to them.
Yeah.
Look, a white British person doesn't have the lived experience of a Caribbean, a Somali person, an Indian person, an Asian person. So if you want to have a better understanding of how to manage these people, you've got to bring in people from this type. You've got to open up the specialty to, and these people are there. They just can't seem to get in.
Yeah.
You know, so. But I will say that in the last couple of years, there's certainly been an attempt to try to open it up because they recognize there's a need for diversity.
Yeah.
Because UK is diverse now.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, you know, one example that I know is something that is a big issue now.
Yeah.
There are some other specialties in medicine also.
Yeah.
You know, here and there that we all know that they are exclusive domains.
Yeah.
For some set of people, but so it's about transparency.
Yes. Yeah.
In this admission process and in this entry routes, you know, to it. I've got lots of friends that have trained and left the United Kingdom and gone back to various other places, particularly the Middle East. Yeah. Because the money is ridiculous.
Yeah. And I think you get housing as well and things, don't you?
It's a shame. Yeah, you get housing.
Yeah.
It's a shame because they trained at the expense of NHS.
Yeah.
So, but yet they are benefiting somebody else.
Yeah, I've got teacher friends who are moving abroad as well for similar reasons.
It comes with they give you a relocation package.
Yeah.
Or they pay for your home.
Yeah.
If you've got children, they pay a certain percentage for your kids in the British or American school in that country. Okay, so your money is tax free.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you not go?
Yeah.
I would have gone, but for the fact that I've got my kids, and I didn't really want to be putting them up and down, and you know, because at the end of the day, what is driving the recruitment from Middle East is the UK education. That's what's driving their recruitment, because they're not going to Africa to recruit anybody. They're coming here to recruit people.
Yeah.
Because they believe that the educational system and the training in the UK is top notch.
Right.
That's why they're coming here to recruit people with UK degrees.
Yeah.
So when I said to myself, what's the point of taking my kids to go on school over there? I can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But my kids would get their degrees They don't want their degrees. They want...
It wouldn't be like worth the same as an English.
An English degree.
Right.
So I'll be shortchanging my children.
Yeah.
To take them out of the UK education system.
Yeah.
Take them to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Where I would make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But their own future would not be that great because they don't have a UK degree. They have whatever country's degree.
Yeah.
And you always want your children to be better than you are.
Yeah.
So it's about thinking these things through. A lot of the people that I know are males. A lot of my colleagues are males. So they've kept their wives and their children here while they go and work. I don't know what the solution, the exact solution is.
Yeah.
But whatever that solution is, it must include providing an environment that encourages people to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so... And I think if you at least pay people enough so that they can live comfortably in the UK, then most people will stay back.
Yeah.
Most people will stay back.
Yeah. When you're thinking about the history of medicine and the NHS, or potentially in your own personal life, is there a particularly influential woman that you would consider a hero or an idol?
Okay, now, in two ways. Now, when in Nigeria, that's my home country, when I was in my medical school and when I was in my residency training, we had this professor. She's Professor Mrs. Ogedengbe. She's a professor of obstetrics and gynae, and I was doing my postgraduate training in obstetrics and gynae. She was someone I looked up to a lot as a woman, because I just thought she was flawless.
Mm-hmm.
She was a great surgeon. I used to, because part of the training we used to get assigned to them for 6 months period, and you would observe them, they would train you in different surgeries.
Yeah.
And I just thought she was a masterclass.
Yeah.
And she was such a great dresser also.
Really?
Yeah. You know, because you always think of professors as this bookwormish.
Yeah.
But she was social. She was a great dresser.
Yeah.
She would wear a leg chain, and she was quite petite.
Yeah.
You know, but she was good.
Yeah.
She was sound. So she was someone I really looked up to, and I really wanted to be a professor of obstetrics and gynae. You know, so I guess she motivated me to train, and you know, when I was doing my final dissertation exam, she was one of my examiners, and I just loved her. You know, she was a really, really someone I looked up to as a female.
Yeah.
You know, in the profession. Yeah. She's retired now, of course. In the UK, I wouldn't say that I have any idols or heroes in the NHS, but I admire this lady called Professor, just 1 second, Gilbert. I can't remember her first name now, so let me just try to get her first name. Professor Sarah Gilbert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She was the lady that was at the forefront of the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
From, I think, Oxford.
Right.
Yeah, so I just, you know, I listened to a BBC interview of her, and I was just really, really impressed with her resume and how, you know, she is a leading female in the field of science as well. You know, I think she's a professor of immunology. Yeah, so of course I don't know her personally.
Yeah.
But you know, she was just inspiring.
Yeah.
When I listened to that interview and I went to read about her, and I just thought, oh wow.
Yeah.
This is great for a female to be at the forefront.
Yeah.
Of such a huge breakthrough.
Yeah.
This time, yeah. So that's if there's anybody in the NHS or in the health sector in the UK that I think I admire, it's Professor Sarah Gilbert.
Yeah. Amazing.
She has an impressive record.
Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.